Hi, I'm Anne from Game Like a Mother. I specialize in games that can be played in 20 minutes or less, and I feel like in this hobby, you often hear people talking about how expensive games are, how much they spent on the board games that they get, which really hasn't been a concern for me in the past because one of the perks of specializing in these shorter games is generally they're reasonably cheap. However, I recently did my taxes for the year, and all of a sudden, I care deeply about the cost of board games. So today, I'm going to share 3 board games primarily geared for kids that are great entry-level board games that anyone can play. People who haven't played a lot of games, people who have played a bunch of games still enjoy these, and they are all at excellent price points. The first game on my list is Five Alive. Five Alive is a little card game in which you are trying to be the last one with any lives left at the end of the game. You are playing, it's sort of like an Uno plus type of game in which you are taking turns playing cards out in the center, and the trick is there are different number cards, and once it gets up to 21, if you would have to play a card that would make it go over 21, you essentially go bust and you lose a life. And you also can lose a life if somebody else plays their final card out of their hand, then everybody else loses a life and you redeal out the cards and keep on going until there's only one person left. This game is really fun. I love the games that are like Uno level, but just have a little bit more going on. They're just so easy. They're so easy to teach. They're fun to play. There's good specialty cards in this game. You still have reverse, skip. There's one that's pass by me, where if there's a 21 out there, you can just play that and it keeps on going and you don't have to play anything else, and so you don't go bust. And they also have a card where you play it out and it shuffles up everybody's cards. And so if you've been hoarding some really good cards, they might get shuffled around and you end up with other people's inferior cards. And there's also a bomb card you can play out, and then everybody else has to defuse the bomb by playing a 0 card out. Otherwise, you lose a life. So really simple, fun, quick to teach, quick to play, and it is $6 at Target, which is fantastic. The next game is called Llama Drama, and this game has a fairly simple premise, and it's sort of familiar. You see it show up in other games in which you start with 3 cards flipped down in front of you. There's 3 cards flipped up on top of that. You have a hand of cards, and you are trying to play out all of your cards and be the first to get rid of all of your cards, which is tricky because you have some mystery cards in front of you that you don't know what they are because they're face down. You don't get to flip them up. It's just when it's time to play at the end of the game, you flip out one of those cards and you hope it's going to beat whatever is out in the middle of the stack. There's a similar game that's pretty popular right now that's called 3 Up, 3 Down, but I really don't like that one because it seems like you get stuck very often in that game. And in Llama Drama, occasionally, if you can't pay out in the middle of the pile, you have to collect all of the cards out there. And it happens occasionally in Llama Drama, but not so much that you just are never going to be able to come back from all the cards you have and win the game. And it has really fun specialty cards. It has a really amazing theme. We played a similar version of this when I was a kid with just a standard deck of cards, and usually I get really whiny when they take a traditional card game and then they revamp it with some specialty cards and a new theme, and they get to sell you a new deck for it. But in this case, it's worth it. It's amazing how much a good theme will bring kids into a game. And llamas are cool. Who knew? Llamas are cool. Kids of all ages, boys and girls, everybody likes llamas. We take this to my 4th grade daughters and Girl Scouts. And we take this to a bunch of Girl Scout events, and a lot of those girls haven't played a lot of board games or card games, but they were able to figure this one out pretty quickly, and now it's one of our go-tos, and they love it. And it's also one of my go-to gifts to give to kids, because I know it's tricky when you're trying to give a gift to somebody. You don't want to push board games on somebody who doesn't necessarily play a lot of board games. But if you have people like games, and especially kids, and if it's something that's a really nice entry-level type game with a good theme, then I think you can get away with it. So this is one of my go-tos. And then the final game I want to talk about is another one I bring on a lot of Girl Scout events, and it is Cinco Linko. And if you aren't familiar with Cinco Linko, there's an amazing Dice Tower video where they all dress up and play like a themed version of this game, and it's hilarious, so I suggest checking that out. But it's basically with little tiles, and instead of connect 4, you link 5, Cinco Linko, link 5, so it's connect 5. And what makes it really great is that you can play with 2, 3, or 4 players, all work seamlessly, and it's really easy to explain. You can teach anybody just by showing the game. Just say, okay, play a piece here, and play a piece here, and go. Try to get 5 in a row. And diagonal works too. Just up, down, sideways, diagonal. And it's great because you never end in a draw. You keep on going, and if everybody's played all of their tiles out, then you get to pick up tiles you've already placed and reposition them and keep on going until someone gets to 5 in a row. So really, that's my favorite part of the game. When you get to that point is when you say, ooh, okay, I'm gonna get to make some really interesting strategic decisions. And this game, it's on a carabiner. When we got it, it was Father's Day weekend, and we got to play it at a beach, got a bunch of sand all over it. It didn't matter. Kids do really well at this game, but adults can play it too. So, and it's about $10. This one's on Amazon. Llama Drama's on Amazon. Each are about $10, the right price point for a new game. So that's it for me today. If you're interested in more content like this, you can check out my YouTube channel or website. Thank you so much for having me on the show, and back to the folks in the studio.